Welcome to Stardust Stereo. I'm Parker McPhinney. I'm your host. Today is the 13th of March, year 2025. And today I'm going to speak on the total lunar eclipse that occurs tonight on the West Coast. That's Pacific Daylight Time at 11:58 and 43 seconds p.m. It will be on the East Coast 2:58 and 43 seconds a.m. And if you live elsewhere, you will have to do the math. This eclipse begins at 8:57 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and it ends at 3 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time. The maximum point of totality will be at the 11:58 and 43 seconds p.m. Pacific Daylight Time. So if you're already confused because of all those numbers, just step outside tonight. If you live on the West Coast, close to 10 minutes to midnight, and you'll be able to see it. And if you live on the East Coast, it'll be in the wee hours. Or you can go online and watch it. There's a site, NASA usually has up a site that you can watch it. And if you are of the belief that you want to utilize that time during the eclipse, that is perfect for meditation. In some cultures, we fast, pray, and even immerse ourselves in water. That would be a bath. During the eclipse period, there are also some cultures that go out and bang pots during the eclipse to appease the gods. Yes, there are all sorts of events that can occur, and they're based on some folklore, some very deep beliefs. Today we're going to talk about what I see as the potential for this total lunar eclipse. So the moon, which rules our emotions, our needs, responses, nurturing, domestic situations, the moon will be in Virgo at 23 degrees, almost 24. It's 23 degrees and 8 minutes arc. And during that time, it's 56 minutes arc. So we rounded off to 24 Virgo. And Virgo always deals with improvement and health. And this particular total lunar eclipse also occurred in 2006 on March 14th. Now, every eclipse is different. Every eclipse, even though it's in the same zodiac placement and close to the same degree, they're still different because we look to where Mercury is, and Mercury will often be in a different sign. And also we look to the other configurations in the chart that full moon eclipse will make. And this particular lunar eclipse is in a beautiful trine with Uranus. So the placement of Virgo at 24 degrees. We have Uranus in the sky, rounded off also at 24 degrees. It is a beautiful flow of the unexpected. Unexpected improvement, unexpected openings. The sun is also in a fabulous relationship with Uranus. Now, eclipses are about endings and completions and cycles coming full circle. This eclipse is also conjunct the South Node, which is a karmic point. It brings back the familiar. It also deals with hospitals, hotels, the poor, homeless, immigrants, international borders. and mental health. Old age homes, hospices, these are all under the jurisdiction of this eclipse, meaning we will see issues in the paper associated with those particular institutions and issues. And we are already seeing that. A lot of talk about immigration, certainly here in America. And yesterday I just saw something on the headline, unfortunate disgruntled person entering into a hospital with a firearm. So eclipses always stir the pot, and they make big and even bigger issues that have probably been on the forefront for quite a while. And it comes to a place, especially if it activates your chart in a very specific way. If it activates a planet in your chart, then it will show where you need to pay attention. So first of all, you pay attention to where that full moon total lunar eclipse falls in your chart, and the house where the moon is where you need to focus on making changes. And it's all about the details. Virgo's a detail-oriented sign. So we're looking for the details in self-improvement and health and mental health becoming an issue for many people, that this eclipse can trigger a time in which you finally take some substantial action to make sure your mental health is in a balance, that your mental health is healthy, that is something that can withstand the stresses of everyday life. Another interesting factor about this lunar eclipse is Mercury will station retrograde later in the day. This eclipse happens just at midnight on the west coast, after midnight on the east coast, and in other parts of the world it's a different time. I cannot do all that math. You have to figure it out. Mercury is stationing retrograde on the 14th, the same day, and that means decisions that are made right now will be reviewed again and again. That does not mean you will make a wrong decision. That means there are many equations. If you have to sign on the dotted line right now, you read those subclauses. You read that extra page of written word that's in legal definitions that you probably don't even understand, but get your attorney or whoever to review. If you don't, do not sign something that you have not read during this time, because this eclipse is just the start of a very changing March month. Mercury retrograde is not always bad. Sometimes we want things to slow down or be delayed or be reviewed. RE is always the word we use with retrogrades. This lunar total eclipse is also got jurisdiction over civil servants. It's about thinking on employment and the Army and unions and the National Health Institution. Those are all the focal points right now that we will be having an opportunity to examine and make better. How can I be a better worker? How can I review the ways in which I offer to my employer my best, and what ways can I make myself even more of a great employee? And I'm assuming we're all really great employees out there in the universe. Its totality is just 1 hour and 5 minutes. It's a fact of that totality of 1 hour and 5 minutes means its influence will be for a year. I'm going to give you some dates. Write down these dates. These are trigger dates for the eclipse that's happening on the 14th. Well, tonight on the 13th on the West Coast. Everywhere else the 14th. you need to make a note of July 27th of this year, October 26th of this year, and December 5th and 6th of this year. Those are the times in which this total lunar eclipse will be triggered. That means events around right now that happen to you are going to have a significant linkage to those dates. It could be an idea that you have or a commitment that you make to have a fantastic eating schedule or dietary habit change that you begin now and then you review in July to see your progress. And then you do a second review in October to see the gains that you have made. And then by the December date, we see the total results of efforts made during this period. Or it's also possible when this eclipse is triggered on those dates, July 27th, October 26th, and December 5th and 6th, that some information comes to you that alters how you view your own health or your own employment, or if something has been hidden from you during this eclipse, because it is eclipse, that means the moon has sunglasses on, and we know the moon's bright, but the moon's going to be dark tonight. It's going to be dark because it's being eclipsed. That means that during these times, these dates I've given you, little bit by little bit of information could come to you. This information could be a realization that suddenly pops into your consciousness. Also, during this total lunar eclipse, we have Mercury, even though it's retrograde. So with Mercury and Venus both retrograde, everything's pointing inward. We have an eclipse moon, go inside. We have Mercury going retrograde right after the eclipse, go inside. We have Venus retrograde, tune into the inner love. You can only give love out if you've got it inside. So build it up inside. Moon trine Uranus, which happens in this eclipse, it's all about that third eye opening wide up. That's why it's a great time to do meditation, japamala, prayer, any type of discipline that you have that takes you into that silent zone you want to do during the eclipse. And I think it's a great idea to make a commitment to doing it regularly during the entire life, personally. This is a bit of a bohemian total lunar eclipse because of the placement. We have a Virgo / Taurus energy happening here. That's the cost of health. It's about food you eat, raw foods. It's also about crops and how our crops are affected by our environment, and an eclipse can change that. So we might see foods and crops increasing in some monetary level because of some elements of unexpected weather that changes what is then later able to be harvested, because Virgo deals with grains. It also has rulership over our liver and our pancreas. And it is considered that this particular total lunar eclipse, people that go off their meds, that are bipolar or have chemical imbalances, this would not be a good time to do that. This would be the time when you want to increase your ability to be calm and relaxed and do everything that you've always done to help yourself be in a meditative, harmonious, cool mood, like the moon, a cool mood. That's what we want. We'll also see unexpected advances that pay off in the long haul. So say you do review your current domestic situation and how you could make a change to it if you need to, or because the moon also rules dietary, food, or comfort, or your relationship with the females in your life, moon rules the females, ways in which you can become more friendly to those that perhaps you've not always seen eye to eye. The moon trine Uranus says you can find that meeting ground. It is possible. It just takes a little bit of effort and research into what's stopping you from smiling. What behavior can you give to yourself and put out there in the world that will create for you contentment? That's what you should be focusing on, because contentment is such a beautiful thing. Countries that are affected by this full moon, this total lunar eclipse: North Korea, it's in their 10th house. They're probably going to have a regime change. Mexico, the people are wanting a shift in their homeland and in their men. They want a shift in their men because the sun represents the masculine energy. We're going to see big changes in land ownership in Mexico. Israel, this particular total lunar eclipse squares their Uranus. That Uranus is in the 11th house. The public wants to know that they have the possibility for a future that they can prosper with again and feel safe. There's going to probably be changes in, they have like a parliament, or if they don't have a Congress, I don't know what it's called there, but in the body group of government, changes will be happening. In Iran, their Mars is activated by this total lunar eclipse in the 2nd house, so monetary issues become quite important for them. Egypt, this particular eclipse is dealing with the youth for them. It's dealing with immigration to some degree and also youth. Australia, again, immigration. This particular total lunar eclipse is all about what do we believe in our borders, what is our policy, what is our trade policy, what treaties do we have, what changes do we make in those treaties. And also civil servants. Civil servants, there's going to be some issues there. The USA, this particular eclipse is conjunct our Neptune. It is all about the idealism, the American dream, and how far away have we moved from being able to achieve an American dream as we once knew it. It's also about deception. Neptune can be about deception and uncovering deception. And gas. I think there is a dialogue going on now about us doing more drilling, and so that's probably going to be a hot topic coming up in this next 12 months. And this lunar eclipse deals with deer and sheep and rodents. Maybe a little overgrowth of rodents. Maybe we've got a little bit too many of those happening. We love all our animals, but sometimes you got to do a little control. This is about the healing arts. So take care of your intestines, your stomach area, your pancreas, your liver. Eat well, don't drink as much, be calm, learn the techniques of what keeps you calm and in good health. This eclipse is all about specialization in your work, in your health, in your relationships. It is about self-improvement. This is an eclipse that clearly says less is more. Less is more. Keep it lighthearted. Try not to get wigged out about things you can't control, which is just about everything. And look within to where you have been strong, where you have made improvements in the past, where you have made progress, and look to your future in ways in which you can continue that progress and create for yourself the balanced life. Let go of old resentments. Let go of anything that is keeping you in an agitated state of mind. That is a discipline. Really, if you focus on the small details that you do every day that help to center yourself, that automatically begins to improve the life. And don't allow yourself to review over and over what you did wrong. Allow yourself to review over and over what you can do right. Wishing you a most blessed total lunar eclipse. Thank you for listening. I'm Parker McPhinney, and this is Stardust Stereo. I'd like to thank my patrons. You know who you are. I'd like to also let you know if you'd like to become a patron, you can do so at patreon.com/ParkerMcP. And I want to remind you, you are made of stardust. So go shine.